My name is Josh Van Valkenburg-Gernert. I'm here today with offensive coordinator and wide receivers coach Ryan Gent. Just kind of getting started. What have you really seen, this summer, this fall in camp that's really been a strength going into week one?
Honestly, just the work ethic from the guys. They have been putting in more time than obviously previous years and more catches, more reps, more film on their own. I mean, it's just been unbelievable the workload that those guys have done this summer and then throughout fall camp leading into week one here.
Yeah, and obviously you brought a couple key wide receivers back, but you lost some guys as well. What has that kind of done, and who maybe have you been impressed with the step they've maybe taken from a younger guy?
Yeah, those guys have obviously continued to grow, those top two that you're obviously mentioning, but we have some younger guys that have had a really good spring, obviously did a good summer work plan as well, and have came in and had a good camp. Guys like Max Hotzen, Alec Van Horn has done a good job, and Mason Galbraith, to name a few, and ultimately, just gone out there and done their job and went and made plays. That's ultimately what we're trying to do at the wide receiver spot.
Sure, and from an offensive standpoint overall, what are you kind of looking to take that went really well last year, and what have you been able to take into summer camp, and what do you hope to take into the season?
Yeah, just running the football is kind of what we're going to hang our hat on a little bit, but also be able to spread people out and do different things there as well, and ultimately we're still trying to 100% identify who we are offensively with this new group of guys, as you have to do every year. And going into week one, we'll have a good plan and take it down to Rolla, Missouri.
Yeah, you definitely bring back some experience too, pretty much everywhere. Quarterback spot, obviously 3 returners. Running backs, you got a couple guys back. Wide receiver too. What does that do for your, not only just teaching the young guys, but what does that do for your depth overall?
Yeah, I mean, the old guys have done a phenomenal job of teaching the young guys, what we're doing, what our standard is. But when you have those experienced guys out there, you feel confident in anything that you're calling because they've done it 1,000 times. And ultimately, just putting the freedom back on them to be able to get us in the right play or get to a check that, maybe the defense is giving us something different than what we were expecting. And ultimately, as a play caller, that makes your life a lot easier.
All right, thank you so much for joining us today, Coach.
Appreciate it.
I'm here with wide receiver Isaiah Eastman. Just kind of getting started. Last year you wound up earning an all-conference nod, actually at 2 different places. You were an honorable mention at wide receiver, and then you got the punt returner spot too. What does that kind of do for your confidence going into this year?
I mean, the COVID year, we only got 4 games, so I was able to get a little bit of experience. But last year, playing all 11, seeing each and every team in the RMAC, I was able to, build on my confidence and, really realize what I'm capable of doing and that I'm capable of playing with these boys in the RMAC. So, and not just playing with them, but dominating the RMAC. And, I was just able to, realize what I also have to work on going into the off season. And I was able to, I feel like build on my craft and build on what I was able to do last year, because I feel like honorable mention for receiver, that's not enough for me. My goals are a lot higher than that. So I feel like I was able to also use that as motivation to just push me to be better for this upcoming season.
Sure. Physically, mentally, how do you kind of prepare, whether it's learning the plays? Obviously, you got to do a little bit more with that than some of the other guys do, kind of playing those dual spots. How does that go for you, mentally and physically?
I mean, the physical stuff, lifting weights, getting on the field, doing all that stuff, all that stuff comes easy to me. That stuff I've been doing my whole life just to, master my craft. I like to be perfect at what I do, try to perfect my craft, be the best I can be. And then mental-wise, this summer I decided to, just study a lot more film, because coming into college, you end up realizing the importance that film watching plays and winning games, wins and losses and different things like that helps you, see what different defenses are doing, and you're able to envision more of what you're going to do on the field when it comes to that game time. So I've been doing a lot more of that this offseason.
Yeah, and then just the last question I have for you. Obviously, you and Jeremiah are kind of the top 2 wide receivers coming back. You both were pretty much in the top 10 receptions, yards. What does that do for your group just to be able to bring, 2 experienced, successful guys like that back? And how do you kind of translate that into, improving into an RMAC contender?
Yeah, I mean, I feel as we both have taken on a leadership role within the team and also, you know, a huge role within the wide receiver group. You know, I feel like we're bringing those other boys along with us, and honestly, we feel like we're getting those boys to the same level as us. So we trust them as to make a play just as much as we trust, you know, either one of us to make a play. And that's just, you know, our confidence as a group is just skyrocketing, and you can see it in practice. You see other receivers making plays. It's not just me and, you know, Jeremiah. We see other dudes, Mason Galbraith, Alec Van Horn, Max Holtzen, you know, all these dudes, Evan Slack, Connor Stevenson, just stepping up and making plays. You know, it's exciting to watch because, you know, from where we were last year, you don't see all them boys making plays. You don't see us just as a group making plays as we should. But this offseason, you know, really talked a lot about the standard and raising the standard, and not just raising it, but really setting that bar. And, you know, I think we're doing a good job at doing that as a team and as a receiver group. You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be an exciting year for us as a whole. I think we're going to go out there and be electric and make plays like we need to.
All right, thank you so much for joining me, Isaiah. Good luck September 1.
Thank you.